And welcome back to the Movie Pope podcast. And today we have a great guest for us on the show. We've got Margaret Marley here. She's going to talk to us about her work as an actor and a writer. And we're going to shoot the breeze, just chat a little bit, me getting to know her. But before we do, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check out other episodes of the podcast. And also check out other content on the channel as well. The Bushwhacker season 2 is currently underway. There are many, many great adventures coming up for the Terrible Trio, as well as a few podcasts that I'm going to be doing in the future. Or, yes, you guessed it, it's just me reading a bunch of essays and you having to watch some badly made cutout animation. But that's just the way things go. Margaret, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good, pretty good. I was telling you before the show. You're smoking a cigarette and I'm smoking a pipe, so we're kind of in that kind of confraternity of tobacco, as it were. But how's your week been so far? I know we were supposed to do something last week, but that had to be rescheduled.
Oh yeah, my husband decided to do some rewiring and reventilating of parts of the house, so things got pretty crazy.
Yeah, gotcha. And you're in Louisiana, right? Pretty close to New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain from there.
Now I've seen pictures of that. It looks like it looks like a giant ocean, basically, like an inland sea. Um, I You'll forgive me, but I'm a huge geography nut. So anytime I see a huge body of water, I automatically think, "Wow, that is the most amazing fucking thing I've ever seen." Like, let's talk about it, and then my imagination runs wild. Um, but um, but I just wanted to start off by thanking you for being a guest on the podcast. Can you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and what gets you out of bed in the morning to do the things that you do as a filmmaker and actor?
Well, I was born and raised in New Orleans. I have Tourette syndrome, actually. So that's been something I've worked around in my life. Pretty much. Let's say about me. That's kind of a low question. I've always been interested in writing and theater, and then moved on to film. I was a big reader as a child. Actually, when I was in high school, I wrote some plays that were locally performed on stage, which culminated in a show with 3 one-act plays I've written and 4 short stories performed as monologues. The director's name was Miko, and he would do Miko presents ... a
Mhm.
theme, and this was called Miko Presents Youth. And the thing was, local theater columnists hated it because there was a lot of sex and a lot of violence, and I was a late bloomer in a lot of ways, which makes it kind of funny. So it was all my imagination. So I had
Right.
a pretty scathing review, but I think actually drew in more audiences because, like, what did this teenager write to piss off what Dear Cuthbert so much? Yeah.
Right. So what motivated you to write these stories and these plays?
Well, actually, the first play, I had already written it before. I saw Miko, that was director's ad.
Mhm.
He was looking for submissions for Miko Presents Romance. It was a variety show with maybe like at least 20 or so like short acts, and it was called A Summer's Eve after the female hygiene product. Yes. And, it was actually an absurdist, very noir take on how irritating it was that my high school friend of me was dating my 7th grade boyfriend, and we were still friends. And it was, and like they would just mess around in front of me, and she was totally gross. But anyway, so yeah, and when I brought them to go see this short play, and Miko Presents Romance, my guy friend thought it was funny. The female friend of me, Marion, did not so much. So I made her out to be kind of like a bitchy, domineering slut. But anyway, that was the first one. The rest just, they came to mind, the ideas for them. So that was about all was there.
So as a writer, what influenced you in terms of in terms of how you structured the narrative? Because I know a lot of people A lot of people would say, "Oh yeah, I used to read a lot of Tolkien, so that so that
Uh,
influenced this, or I read a lot of Shakespeare, so it influenced that." What sort of authors or books or kind of themes kind of work their way into your writing process?
I've always been a big fan of mystery. I don't really write mysteries per se. Well, I did write a series of shorts about the investigation of an incarcerated serial killer and his possible copycat. Called the Frank Bannon investigation series. But yeah, I read the entire Nancy Drew series growing up, and yeah, my favorite two mystery writers are Ian Rankin, Scottish writer here at the Inspector Rebus series. Like, I don't know if you ever heard that show, Rebus. Uh,
No, I haven't.
that's good. And also Michael Connelly, who wrote he wrote the books for Blood Work and Lincoln Lawyer. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, and also just I don't know my imagination where it went when I was in high school. One of my big influences was Quentin Tarantino, but I kind of outgrew that. And these days, well, I think that creatively, the director with whom I have most in common will be David Lynch, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, because the way that you described your stories, there's a very Lynch quality to it.
Oh, very much so.
Kind of like Mulholland Drive or Eraserhead, that kind of stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so, so do you normally gravitate towards like the neo noir, detective mystery kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what happened after high school with those plays? Like, did you go to school, or did you go to
Mm,
work, or what?
Well, I goofed off for a little while. Then I moved in. Then moved into my first apartment when I was 18. It was actually on the corner of Elysian Fields and Burgundy, which is the very tip of the Faubourg Marigny. The opposite side of the street is actually where the Marigny begins. And I had four male roommates. And the place was kind of a disaster, but it was cool, They taught me to skateboard and stuff like that. Um, and I ended up dating one of those roommates for like 2 or 3 years or something like that. When I was 21, I started going to University of New Orleans for college. Maybe lasted 3 semesters there, and did not graduate. Kept writing here and there. I've had a lot of different jobs, a lot of different experiences. Otherwise,
Mhm.
yeah, that's about all. I wrote 3 novels several years back, and I submitted them to publishers. She's real small time, actually. I met her through fandom convention, cons, like, comic book stuff like that.
Right.
Um, and so thing was, she wasn't ready by the contract date for my books, but it was all good. I consider, it's an investment down the line if Aurelia ever does end up publishing them. But yeah, since I've just been pretty much writing my own stuff, and we filmed some of it. I've
So the no-
actually, what were you saying?
so sorry. So the novels, they haven't been published yet. They're kind of in limbo. Is that right?
Yeah, they are, and
Okay.
the one's really nice, and I'm not in any rush about that. So,
Gotcha. How long has it been in limbo, if you don't mind my asking?
oh, a while, probably like 15 years now or something like that.
God Almighty, really? Holy
Yeah, but
shit!
my brother-in-law passed away, the publisher, and also her husband. He's got, well, I think it's high blood pressure or high cholesterol or something like that. So she
Okay.
got a lot on her plate.
Gotcha, gotcha. What were they about?
Um, Well, one was called The Once and Future Killer, playing off the name of that King Arthur book, The Once and Future King.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I remember that book.
Yeah, and it's basically I guess you call it like a dark comedy, very very dark. It's about a young woman who decides at one point that her thing in life is she wants to be a murderer, and there are many attempts and almost, but she never quite gets it. And then she ends up with dating a guy with whom she went to high school, and he does whack people. He kind of tries to mentor her for a little while. Anyway, I won't tell you how it ends, but it's kind of just Nancy. That's the main character's name, and Nancy's misadventures in her quest to murder somebody.
That sounds like something that you would see on Netflix, if I'm honest with you.
Well, thank you.
I mean, seriously, because with like the proliferation of all this true crime stuff that's coming out right now. I mean, that sounds like something that would come out on Netflix, and you'd be like, "Oh, this is like a pretty good series to watch. I'll binge it for a Saturday and Sunday, probably a Monday."
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So how did you transition into acting and film?
Um, well, I started taking an interest in film just because my Tourette's. I figure film has takes and stuff like that, and also it just had greater appeal to me. And I wanted to act since I was a kid. Like I went to some theater day camps, a few different summers.
Hmm.
Went to some open auditions here and there, but my Tourette's, and also just I really wasn't prepared. I know a lot of musical theater. I'm not really a very good singer, particularly not for that type of stuff.
All right.
But yeah, so my interest, starting from childhood, sort of continued, and I kept writing my own stuff because if it's not happening for me, I figure may as well make it and make it happen myself.
Right. Right. So did you do any stage acting at all,
Mm,
or
well, I was poor,
no?
but don't get me started on that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Because I know because I've watched a lot of podcasts where they interview these actors, and they're like, "Yeah, I've been I'll be slaving away for like months or even years before I got my first film or TV gig." Did you just gravitate towards film naturally, or was that something that kind of happened after a lot of trial and error?
I'd say it was a little bit of both. I've been a movie buff since I can remember. It's yeah. So the interest in film, and also just the fact that there were clearly a lot more opportunities in film and stuff like that. And like I said, having Tourette's, the option of takes is a good thing. Although people point out to me that when I'm in character, I don't have any ticks. So
No.
yeah,
It just magically goes away, right?
yeah. I guess it's a method thing.
Gotcha. Now I know you said that you did some theater camps. Did you take any classes as a teenager and as adult in acting?
No, no. I mean, like briefly, there were some acting classes that were held at this dance studio when I was in high school, around the corner from my dad's house. And my dad's sister and I actually all three went to that, but I think the guy just stopped having the classes. What happened?
Okay, gotcha. So so can you talk about maybe your first film or TV gig that you had? Because New Orleans is because not many people would think of it, but New Orleans has a pretty active film scene over there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, the thing is, I haven't really had any like gigs officially, albeit what my husband and I put together, which it's a good bit of stuff actually. I have my Facebook page, our Facebook page, Register Productions, and that's where we've been releasing our shorts and all that so far. I actually have 3 full-length screenplays on the back burner for doing or having done or helping have done at some point or other.
Gotcha. Can you so what prompted you and your husband to start this production company then? Because it was pretty recent too, right?
Last, um, I'm trying to think. I remember I started the Register Productions page we're over in Arizona right when whatever the first day for COVID was, right when it hit the news. My husband and I booked a room at the Marriott in Flagstaff, Arizona, for 2 weeks to get out of New Orleans, aka the city notorious for mismanaging crises. And and we filmed a little bit of stuff here and there, but I really started building a following and networking and stuff from Arizona, basically during that time period. So yeah, I'm saying whatever freaking year that was it 2019 or something like that?
Yeah, I think when people started, started taking it seriously, it was probably like springtime of 2020,
Oh yeah,
like spring, summer ish around that year, because that's when I started my job, and everybody was like, "Yeah, everybody's got to go into lockdown," you know.
oh yeah. Yeah, so somewhere like yeah, like 2019, early 2020. And really, I've been wanting to do something like that for a long time. And when I realized that my husband was interested in it, and I had a few friends. We the last apartment we rented in New Orleans, we hosted a weekly writers group at our house, and we co-read a good bit of my stuff there, and other people shared their writing. Um, and we started making them. And my husband, he actually works in technology. He works for this big medical malpractice law firm called Lamco, and he's a web programmer. So he naturally was just thrilled to get all the equipment and the gears and gadgets. Like we have a professional grade video camera and two quasar lights now, actually,
Oh
because
wow.
yeah, because they had a battery powered one on sale, and my husband Ryan could not resist naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a green screen and all that stuff. And but I was last weekend or 2 weekends ago, he ordered a smoke machine, and it's kind of funny how that happened. So we were visiting my sister and her boyfriend at their place, and and my sister's laughing because Ryan's bringing in setting up 3 different lights because we're going to do some raw unplugged music footage. With her and her boyfriend kind of sing along whatever her boyfriend on the harmonica, and my sister's like, Ryan has 3 lights, does he have a smoke machine? And I turn around and Ryan is on his phone ordering a smoke machine. So I'm like, now he does. So yeah, him just, and he enjoys directing as well and filming, and just getting the right cut and getting the right angle, and he's doing a lot of reading. So yeah, basically knowing that I had support and someone continually interested in working with me, and and enough people here and there. My dad actually has proven to be a pretty good actor. He's appeared in 3 things we made thus far, and he had a great time with it.
Gotcha. So your husband just took to film directing like a fish to water, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's been really fun.
So so it's fascinating because you started your production company right at the start of the pandemic. Can you talk about what it was like trying to run a production company during, the 2 years of lockdown and having to go through all this, you know, social distancing and all that stuff?
Well, I mean, we saw friends. I mean, a lot of people didn't, disobeyed, if you will. So if anything, since there wasn't really much else to do or any other places for these people to go, they were more available than they would be otherwise. Just show up and film stuff.
Okay. Gotcha. So talk to me about the film projects that you've done so far. Because you did mention that that y'all shot like a music video. Can you talk about the feature length or short length films that you've done since you started?
Well, oh, music video that was actually on. Well, that was for our 2-piece cover band. It's kind of just a hobby project thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we just kind of shot it at my sister's house. It's for fun of it because we have a few different types of series, as we call them. That we do. Well, it used to be the front room series. Now it's a foyer series because here we have a foyer and a front room. So during
Okay.
foyer series, and then the late night series, which is impromptu, not as planned out. And that one of my sister's place was the first installation of the Dorian Gray's Unplugged, the Nowhere Fast series, because we don't always plan to be filming that stuff in the same spot. But as far as the film projects go, um, like I said, we're still very much starting with the operative word, to work up to making my feature length scripts that I've written. The series of shorts I mentioned, the Frank Bannon serial killer investigation series, The format is, pretty much well, as I've called it, the reverse 24 format. Like instead, real time, where each episode that showed 24 was an hour of the dude's life or whatever. Just very, very short episodes. We release them periodically, like you would on television.
Right.
And on my blog, I have the box set, so to speak, which is all the episodes that we did. And actually, we were going to submit a short film we made to the 48-hour film project, and it was done. It was done in time for the deadline. However, my husband is a perfectionist. So he didn't think it was good enough to submit, so he never submitted it. It was called A Book to Kill For, and the required character was someone named Anne or Ambrose, who was an inventor. The required prop was a book, and the required line was "Better luck next time," and the genre was mystery.
Hmm.
And that seemed like almost a little too perfect. I wondered if it might have been rigged to our advantage. So Ryan was the main detective character, and we made his name Ambrose Monk, like on the show Monk, John Turturro's
Right.
character, main
Right.
character's father. And he as a hobby, he was an inventor, and he made these little miniature recording devices you could attach your clothing or put inside something. So actually, we end up combining the all the required things in the ending in one moment when everything is said and done, and Ambrose Monk's supposed new partner is not actually a detective at all, and it's made off of the book. But there's an identical copy of the book which is left for Ambrose, because he had given her one of these little recorders to keep that he made. And so he opens the book and presses the button on the recorder, and of course says better luck next time. And also we've done got a number of things, shorts, and we've adapted some film scenes here and there. Like we did the famous desert scene from Casino, and my husband Ryan was Joe Pesci, and I was Robert De Niro, which was a funny role reversal because he's usually the calm one, and I'm usually not. So yeah, it's a lot of that stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So most of your productions, they're mainly self-funded, right? You're not getting any external funding or anything like that.
They're so funded, and we're pretty clever about keeping the budget down and stuff like that. So.
So can you talk to me of of what an average production looks like whenever you're making one of these things? Is it something that's done occasionally, or do you kind of like plan a day where you're just gonna film it and be done by by the end of the day?
Mm, I mean, generally, we don't have a target time to finish. We could work within that. We needed to basically to we're both up for filming something that we've kind of been working up to filming, and we were going over lines and stuff. Then he gets out the camera and the tripod and the three lights, and we film it. And he does the three angle filming, like if say we're all talking to each other over the shoulder and facing each of us individually, and then the semicircular shots as well, in which the camera is facing both of us sideways. And we just do it, and it takes a few different takes sometimes, but we're pretty efficient. We just have a good time with it.
Gotcha. And you mentioned earlier that you almost submitted one of your films to a film festival, but
Yeah,
that didn't
yeah.
happen. Okay.
Yeah, and then naturally, not long after that, we meet this chick that I became friends with, who tells me that a lot of people just improve their submissions after they submit it. So that never dawned upon us, but actually that one was called A Book to Kill For, and that can be found on our Facebook page, the Rest Assured Productions one. And we got to use my third cousin, aka second cousin once removed, in that, and she actually is an actress with a little bit of experience here and there. She was in on an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. She played a prostitute.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was, but she's really good. she just she has some tough luck in LA or whatever, so she came back to New Orleans.
Gotcha. That's actually pretty exciting, having been on a show like that.
Oh,
So 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 obviously 2023 is coming to an end, and in a few weeks we'll be saying hello to 2024. What's in the books for you guys?
um I'm continuing to work on our stuff. I know that much. That and yes, about it. I mean, like actually, Ryan, my husband, is working on writing a horror script right now about a guy who goes crazy over an interactive anime that his friends created, and he's test driving or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So that should be fun. And I have a couple of different scripts up in the air that I'm working on. One is definitely a noir throwback. Main character is Daniel Brody, PI. It just sounds like a PI's name. And as of a couple of days ago, I started writing something that is sort of like it's a similar like setup to Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf,
Hmm.
except this couple has some type of like I don't really sound the particulars yet, murderous secret, and they're fixing to cut and run, so they have an array of different guests over, people they know, to see who, if anyone, can catch them and figure out what they're up to.
Oh, that sounds very intriguing right there. Do you think that's something you might you might try to submit to the film festival circuit?
Yeah, quite possibly so. I mean, yeah, I want to get our stuff out there however we can. So
So how are y'all promoting your work
face,
to the wider public?
Facebook, really. Yeah, Facebook is the main thing. I actually have a blog. It's a WordPress blog, but I have a URL for it. It's twitchbiatch.com. Twitch bitch was a derogatory nickname I was given in middle school because my Tourette.
Oh.
So I decided to steal it from said people and take the power away from it. It's actually my tag as well. Like in uptown bar bathrooms, I like to pull on the walls. So I know these same motherfuckers are going in the bath to haunt them. So twitchbs.com is my blog, and I post collectively, like the box sets I put the band and serial killer series and stuff like that. I reshare the stuff there, so the blog followers can look at it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say if you send me those links, I'll put it in the description below so people can check that out.
Awesome.
Um, so I imagine New Orleans is a pretty huge film community. Are you? I mean, are you reaching out, or are you collaborating with any filmmakers in the area, or is it mainly just something that you just do within within your household and your family?
Oh, well, actually, we've absolutely been networking and collaborating and stuff like that. Actually, there's a dude in Lafayette who has a production company going on with some friends of his, and that is what my husband is writing that horror anime script for, is to collaborate with those guys. The guy named Gerard, I forget his friends' names, and they're actually on Facebook as well. They're Tabot Studios or something like that. Tabot, I remember it is TABOT, and also to the this woman has asked us to act in something she's doing recently, and she offered to help us out with some of our projects. So that sounds good to me.
Okay, so you're slowly expanding your reach, kind of starting to get the word out, right?
Oh yeah, and I'm basically the PR slash HR person, like, because I don't have a job to speak of. Occasionally I do housework for a friend, make money, but not really. My husband has a full-time job, so I'm the one who checks on the Facebook stuff at least once a day, and I reach out to people and talk to them, more or less vet them. If they turn out to be a pain in the ass, my husband never ends up talking to them, or we're not on the same page as them. Then I just tell them, well, good luck with your stuff.
Okay, cool. I mean, so 2024 sounds pretty bright for your production company. I'm really glad to hear that. Um, do you and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Like, have you had any ambitions or made any attempts to try to reach out to the big production companies to maybe pitch your work?
Oh, absolutely. Like I would I definitely want to, at the right time, when we, when they will take us seriously, try to get our stuff distributed either through Amazon or yeah, for Amazon Prime or something like that.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, one of your projects is it definitely sounds like a Netflix series. So I can't, so I can definitely see Netflix producing something like that. Um, so I want to go ahead and just bring this to a close. But like I said, I mean, send me all of your send me all of your social media links and everything, so I can put it in the description below, so people can check out your work.
Absolutely.
Um, but before we wrap up, obviously we're a movie podcast, so you just have to ask, what's the most recent movie or TV show that you've seen that you think is the best thing ever, and people need to drop everything and watch right now?
The Departed. The Departed with Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon.
Hmm.
That's definitely my current favorite movie. Actually, we're watching it again last night.
Okay. Gotcha. And are there any elements of The Departed that just stick out to you that just make you think, wow, this is something that is just so amazing?
Well, I just love, but the whole concept of it. I know that it's an adaptation of a Korean film called Internal Affairs, but it's just, it's got so many great quotes for one, and also just the whole thing with how Matt Damon's character is dirty. And he's supposedly trying to find himself, and Leonardo DiCaprio's character, nobody knows he's a cop, and there's no record of being a cop except through Martin Sheen and Mark Wahlberg, and DiCaprio's character is working side by side with Jack Nicholson, who is is the main mobster guy, whereas Matt Damon is one of his moles, and just that constant, one character is chasing after the other, and just the way the shit hits the fan when it does, various
Hmm.
is great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those films that you can just watch over and over again. Um, we were actually doing a review of Cocaine Bear yesterday.
Oh
For
yeah.
the Friday podcast or Saturday podcast, and it was just so ridiculous because because my co-host is like, this is one of the worst movies ever made, and I'm like, yeah, it is, but it's just good fun. Sometimes you just want to enjoy something that's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, guilty pleasure.
Exactly. I wish you could tell him that, because apparently whenever I tell it to him, he just rolls his eyes and is like, "Oh, whatever, dude. Screw you. I'm the movie pope, and you're not." But Margaret, I just want to I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be on this show. And I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this episode. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please share this video and other episodes with everyone you know. We're trying to grow the audience. The more people we can get, the better. And as always, thank you so much, and take care. Bye.
All right, you're a good one. Bye.
All right. Bye.